Woo-wee. Boy, oh boy, man, oh man. This was the craziest junk removal job we have done to date, and that is a factual fact. Man, so we got this job. We're in Daytona Beach. We got this job. By the way, if you're in Daytona, you need junk removal, give us a call, 386-290-5804. But anyways, this is a giant homeless encampment over the course of like 10 acres, okay? It's a lot. And there was like 7 to 10 homeless encampments throughout there, and about 5 to 6 of them were terrible. A couple of them were pretty easy, and then there were like 2 that were so crazy, man. So crazy. I can't even explain it. Like right now, what we're cleaning up are some of the easy sections. They really weren't too bad. You don't see tons of trash. We're kind of just picking up all the scatter stuff. These ones took literally these ones took, we would get some of these small ones done within like half a day or so. This whole job, because it was just me and my partner, we had to do this, we just weren't able to get any help. It just is what it is when you're starting a new business. But me and my partner, we ended up doing this by ourselves. It took us a total of 63 hours over the course of 5 days, just because we were doing some volunteer work. It actually might have been longer than that, like 7 days. I can't remember exactly, but we charged $4,000 for this job. At the end of everything, it came out to $4,000. We originally bid $4,200. It went down to $35, and then it went back up to $4,000 just because we found some spots that weren't included in the bid. We closed this deal, like I said, after we completed it. We definitely got paid. We were able to get everything taken care of properly, and it was definitely worth it. And it took us 63 hours, but it was the craziest week of my life for sure. And it was one of those situations where you are just wondering when it's going to end. Like, look at this pile of stuff. So the reason, again, I said we were volunteering during bike week with the Daytona Beach Commerce, and so we were doing all that. And so, like, this day, Kyle was volunteering, and I was, went here and just got started on the day. I think later on, he ends up coming up, and then I think I even have to leave for the evening shift volunteering at Bike Week. But my main goal, and what I continued to do this whole time, was just make a bunch of, gather every single piece of everything that you possibly can, throw it in giant big piles, and then from there take those big piles to, the trailer or to another big pile further out. And then that way you can we would just back the U-Haul or the trailer up as you saw. And yeah, I think Kyle's here now, or maybe this is just still me, I can't tell, but we would back the trailer up and everything and get it up there. So then Kyle is here. So we would back the trailer up so you could literally just throw everything in. We did end up getting a box truck for this job. It saved us a lot of trips, but we still ended up having to do several trips with the trailer just because we weren't able to, complete it due to our schedules, all in one day, or even 1 or 2 days in a row all time. So we just had to do what we had to do. That's all you can really do. But all the metal we separated, we didn't do it with aluminum cans, obviously. I mean, that would have took like years, and we weren't going to fucking do that. But any metal that was easily sortable, anything that was 65% metal or more, we definitely scrapped. We put it in separate piles. Again, here's actually Kyle working by himself because I had to go to the bike shift for the evening shift. But yeah, all the cans and stuff, there were so many plastic bottles, so many tiny wrappers, debris, stuff that was buried, as you just saw. You just accidentally uncover all this craziness, just by barely kicking over a stick or barely moving this or that. And then next thing you know, you have another 3 bags of trash that comes out of nowhere. And it's just nuts. It was nuts, I tell you. So here's a good video of us. This is the U-Haul we had. We backed it up, and we had tons of what's it called? Like big piles set up in different areas so that we could easily just back it up and do this on the very next day. And we got a very large portion of the job done just in this day. But it is what it is. You know, you got to do what you got to do, especially when you're starting a new business. There's going to be people always saying, oh, I would have done this, I would have done that. But at the end of the day, you have to do things to get experience, and nobody knows everything, you know. So the box truck was a great help. We definitely plan on, you know, I think we should go with the box truck route or the dump truck route, one of the two. But box trucks, you can just fit so much more in them. And this was another crazy area. It wasn't too bad actually, but it just felt like you just kept uncovering more and more and more and more and more. Like right here, it's just like there was so much scattered trash. You see me up in the back, all these white bags of trash. We actually found a giant roll of trash bags, so it was of all, you know, with the kitchen trash bags, but they were all fine. So it's like we just used those free bags. So recycle, reduce, right? But here's us cleaning out. This is like the last thing we did for the day. In this day that we had the U-Haul, and we cleared out this whole section. So this part's pretty crazy, and this part definitely took much longer than we expected, because again, there was, in this area where Kyle was at right there was so much what do you call it, just like stuff you would uncover. You'd kick a branch, and then you'd be like, oh, there's a piece of trash, and then you pull it, and then that would pull out literally half a bag of trash, or a quilt, and then you pull the quilt, and that would lift up tons of other crap. And it's just like, it was nuts, you know. There was so much trash. And just a couple seconds ago, when you saw, that was the people who hired us for this job. They are actually, it's a funny story, my old employee who I used to work for, and then where I ended up, you know, going into junk removal. They actually needed to hire us for a job, and we were more than happy to help. They're amazing people, and it's always been a blessing. Even when I was working with them, it was a great job, but I'm just someone that wants to work for myself, and I want to build something that's worthwhile. And so here's at the landfill. The only thing about the box truck that sucks is, you know, you have to unload it by hand, but at the end of the day, what can you do? And like, obviously we're not going to be doing it forever, and it is what it is, you know, it's a job, and that's what we're trying to do, is create a job and opportunity for other people. So the people that want to make some money and want to work hard for themselves and have a chance at, you know, leveling up in a big company that we're going to become one day, they're going to work hard and follow the standard procedures, and we're going to do our best to build that company up, this company up, as well as our employees, because we want our people to be successful. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do, and whatever makes the most money and is most convenient, you got to do. So if someone doesn't want to unload the box truck by hand, they simply just need to find a different job, you know. But there's tons of hard workers out there, and I think a box truck is going to be the way. Here we are back at another crazy day. You know, this was I think like the worst. No, I'm not gonna say the worst section. This was not the worst section, but this was a pretty bad section, mainly because of all the quilts and like old air mattresses and tents that have been there for years. This property hasn't been cleaned up ever, and people have been moving in and living in it and all this crap, squatting in it for over 8 years. And so what they were doing, who hired us, they actually came through after we did this and land cleared all the brush, left all the big trees up, but now there's not going to be any, you know, you can literally see straight through the 10-acre property on both sides of the road, which is like a block, and people aren't going to be able to be camping out in there. Like, all this brush you see is gone now. So here we're just clearing out these final things. As you see on the left, that's a pile of metal. We made, like, it wasn't a lot for sure, but we filled up a whole trailer full of metal and ended up coming up to like $81. So I mean, shit, extra $81 just for helping the environment, you know. Definitely paid for some extra gas and stuff. There was very little, what would you call it, expenses on this besides gas and the dump fees. I mean, that was literally like it. We did buy the wheelbarrows for this job because we hadn't had them yet, but we included that in the bid. And like I said, we've been paid for it, so all expenses, you know, that we've included in the bid have been covered as well. So it's nice that we're finally, it took a little bit for everything to get completed, but at the end of the day, when you get paid, and that's what you do it. So here is actually the last day that we had to do this job. This was the last day, and this was the absolute worst section. I mean, there was so much trash. We filled up probably 25 bags. It was an absolute mess. More and more and more. This tent that everything was on, like, that was piled under, like, literally 8 bags of trash. There was so much trash spread out throughout the forest. Like, this section was tough. And I can't express that enough, but at the end of the day, literally at the end of the multiple days rather, here's, what is that, 8 bags right there, 9 bags, and that's just right there in the end part. But we got the job done. Customer extremely happy. We worked hard. We're extremely happy. We got paid. Like I said, total came out to $4,088 if you want to include all of the scrap metal. I don't have my expenses or all the job costs and everything right here handy to where I could pull it up on the screen and put it on there, but I might make a TikTok video about it, explaining some of the processes and all that. So, but this was our biggest job to date, $4,088. Messed that up. Pulling up to the landfill right now. We appreciate you so much for your time watching. More videos to come. We blowing up.